Hey everybody! Happy Saturday! I got my 90s music in the background because there was a conversation being had last night on a Zoom and I wasn't prepared for certain things, so then I had to go in the back of my music catalog and I was mad at myself because all these songs that I would normally know, they didn't come off the top of my head. So now this is my redemption right now. Got Jodeci in the background. Shout out to everybody who was on the Zoom last night. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I digress. So today is another, hey beautiful people. Hey May, hey Ced, hey hey Quita. So listen, this single Saturdays, we are really gonna get into the nitty-gritty of our men or women's expectations too high when it comes on to relationships, right? So I always set the mood with good music and good vibes, but you know, it's cuffing season for us single people out here. Maybe our expectations are too high. Are we being realistic? Are we not being realistic? You know, it's, you know, some warm body temperatures would be nice right about now, and maybe we are getting in the own way. We're getting in our own way, of happiness and love. So, Ced, I'm gonna get ready to bring you in, turn this music down. I hope you all enjoy. And I got my Poetic Justice, and you see that? Okay, shout out to Forever 21, because this is where I got it. And I thought it was cute, so I bought it. 1 second, y'all. All right, so you ready, Ced? You ready to get this conversation had? Ladies and gentlemen, meet extraordinaire, model, photographer. You know what I'm saying? All right, listen, he's a Leo. You know what I'm saying? He just came back from Bora Bora on his private yacht. They ready. They ready.
That's what it was. It was Bora Bora.
It was Bora Bora. Listen, I was over here like, dang it, man, I'm ready for my vacation.
It was Bora
Single
Bora.
or not, I need some release time. I do. How you doing?
I'm doing good, with girl. What up? No.
You doing good, man.
Thank you. What up, man?
I miss you like crazy, man. Okay, so Ced is like my little brother. So oftentimes, me and Ced be having like dope conversations about relationships.
Come
Some
on.
stuff he be forgetting, he be saying. So I like to record it so he don't forget for the future time. But you know what? This is what evolution is all about. And, you know, I'm proud of all your endeavors and all the things that you're doing. And Ced has this, you still doing the show on Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays, 8:30s. Black Man in the House. Still doing that.
Yes, nice. Yes, and they talk about some really, really great topics about relationships. So, yes, Ced. So soon, maybe in the near future, a year or two from now, I'm going to get a wedding invitation.
Listen, God willing, you feel me? Listen, I'm going to take all blessings. You feel me?
Okay.
I ain't mad at it. It looks like maybe 3 or 4, but
okay.
You know.
Listen, that's the whole point, the evolution of it. You know, when there's a scripture that says men put away childish things, they have to come to the realization. You feel me? When y'all get it. So listen, I'm there for it. I just want my invitation.
Listen, if I get married, and no, excuse me, when I get married,
right?
Oh, it's gonna be a big deal. It's love. It's to celebrate that love. You know.
Yes.
I'm big on that. I love seeing it. I love seeing men not afraid of love, you know? That takes the most courage out of a man, I'm gonna tell you. For a man to showcase his love in front of other people. That means you like, this is my queen, I'm gonna show y'all my queen. It's a beautiful thing. It's, you know?
Right. And I mean, for you to say that is profound, because there are, you know, and again, the time that it takes to grow to that space, because some men are like, I'm never gonna get married, you know? And I'm like, well, why not? You don't want to be 80 and alone, wishing you had somebody there to help you. Did you get a chance to watch Kevin Hart's latest special on Netflix?
I ain't watching yet. I was gonna wait for the holidays for that.
All right, I'm not gonna put nothing on it, but all I'm gonna say is there was a part where he was like, you gonna realize who love you, who's there for you when you can't wipe your ass. And he was referencing when he had that car accident. And it's real. We all look at the aesthetics of just people thinking that that's their character, and it's far from the truth. So I want to delve into it because I know you got some things you got to take care of.
No, let's
So
go for it.
we can go for it. Awesome thought. So I'm still single, and I can only think of a few reasons why. I feel like my calling has my attention, and I just can't be with anybody. So I let God take that rank. You get me? And not focus on it because I don't want to have to deal with the counterfeits, people who pretend to be something that they're not. And for me in particularly, when it comes on to just guys that I know and I listen to the conversations that we have, I noticed that we're talking about the younger self first, right? Because there's evolved men and there's not. And most men are not evolved. Let's just be real.
Talk about it.
Right? You mess with it, right?
I say that all the time.
And it's a choice. People can choose to stay low or elevate. And I'm just going to talk about just the conversations I've had over the years. And a lot of the times is, well, she got to be bad. She got to have a banging body. I don't care if the ass is fake or real. You know what I'm saying? I like light skin or I like dark skin. And it's only the physical. You know what I'm saying? And then they get in these relationships like, yo, she crazy. Every female is crazy. But is she really crazy? Are you, as a man, is that man living up to the standards as to what he wants in a relationship? And oftentimes they're not. They out here, I don't care what your profession is. It's the mentality. They just, with so many different women, not setting any boundaries, having females have the privilege of going through their phone and calling the next female, and there's no real commitment. And those are just things that we kind of experience just in the getting to know phases. But what have your dating experiences been like and with women? And really quickly before you say that, I just noticed something. All the men that have been on Single Saturdays thus far are all Leos.
Come on now.
They're all Leos. And I mean, really and truly, like, I just had to say that. Like, there's something about that. Like, there's something about it now because I didn't even realize it. I did not realize it. Y'all are the cream of the crop when it comes on to understanding the essence of femininity.
Come on.
You guys have mastered that.
Oh, come on. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you if we're going to go into zodiac signs here.
Okay.
Leo is the lion and they are the lady of the zodiac sign, right? So I believe the true character of a Leo is two things: leadership and loyalty. Right? It's loyal, and we know how to be a leader. And to know how to be a leader, you must know how to work with others. You know, a leader doesn't mean take the forefront. It means putting yourself aside to make the situation or the group better. So there can be multiple. Once you understand, there can be multiple leaders in one group.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And that's the whole point of it. And the loyalty part, man. We are very much like, especially me in particular. If I fuck with you, I really do mess with you. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna show you that loyalty constantly. And we like to receive that back. And also, loyalty also shows, what does she need?
Right.
Let me listen to her. Let me understand. How can I better assist? Because I know she's going to do the same. So it's within those realms. You know what I mean?
That's real. It's taking the time to learn and not just being so dismissive with women that I really realize that a lot of men do, But again, it's depending on where a man is in his life. And, being that we talked about all of that with the dynamic wonderfulness of a Leo male. Tell me what.
That sounds like a book. The wonderfulness of a Leo. Ooh,
well, hey, listen, copyrighting it. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds good. That sounds real good.
You, all right, listen. I might just write a book. My husband could be a Leo somewhere getting ready for me. So listen, claiming it in the universe. No, okay. So, Question. What
Before you
have...
start, I just wanted to say this. It's so interesting. When we were kids, women around our age were saying what you just said.
What I just said about...
I'm praying and hoping that God send me my husband. And I'm noticing it is the system we created around male development and feelings that has never really changed since you were kids.
That's true.
And even before that. Because why are women more prepared for relationship foundation at this age since I've been a kid? And now here we are in these shoes. And more men are not. And I think I know why, but go ahead.
I want to know your answer, because I think that's really, it's deep. And for me personally, I do feel, and I think I can speak for most women when I say that we have been conditioned to feel that completion is with the male, is when our male counterpart appears into our life. And I think that's why so many of us, men and women, settle, because of the longevity of waiting and realizing, you know, and just not knowing who we are in those moments in time. So we settled for just about anything. And I know for me, there are specific standards that I desire with dating in the past to where I am now. And, you know, when I say God-fearing, I'm not really focused on a religious man. I'm not really focused on that, because I've surpassed that. And I feel like a lot of religious people are just as warped as anybody else. You understand? But the key things for me, honesty, but more before that, consistency, because it never feels good to get ready for a date and dude don't call, dude don't show up. 3 days later, oh, my bad. Like, and I realize it doesn't matter what you look like. It is where that man is in his space, whether he's dealing with other women or he's just extremely busy or he's flaky in nature. We don't have to deal with that. So consistency is a big thing for me. Honesty. And I know a lot of women say honesty, but I can only speak for myself when I say honesty, because I truly value it. No one is perfect, but with honesty comes integrity, right? So I know going into a relationship that my man is not going to be perfect, and he knows I'm not going to be perfect. But if there happens to be an indiscretion, or he has a bad habit, you know, and, you know, or he might like to go out to the clubs, I just personally feel like there has to be an honest set standard. You get me? So if he's staying out later, I don't need him to come home and try to lie to me as to why he stayed out later, because his boys wanted to go to Denny's, and he felt like if he told me that I probably think that he was cheating. Like, don't do all of that. Just be honest with me. And even if, I ain't calling this on my life, but I'm just saying, if there was an indiscretion, okay, it is better for my man to tell me before I find out from somebody else.
And see, what I'm hearing is that, which is beautiful, I don't think you have a set of standards. You just want a man with morals.
Yes.
What are your morals? Do you practice good morals? And that determines what a human being is inside.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where it starts from.
Right.
That's it. It's morals.
I appreciate that. And it's real, because not a lot of people have that. And I think the last two, or I know the last two for me, is don't take me for granted. And, you know, communication. So those are like my top four. And if there was a fifth one, with the element of appreciating outside of communication, I would love to be able to have him express that to me physically, or through, you know, through action, if that makes any sense. So those to me, I mean, those aren't love languages, but I'm just saying those are the 5 standards that mean a lot to me. And I know he's somewhere preparing himself for me, but I just think that for me, I don't really ask for a lot. I'm not a gold digger. I don't think that, I know money isn't a tool, so I'm not shallow, but there are a lot of women who are. So I want to get your take on maybe some of your requirements and also some standards that maybe in your old self you might have had to where you are now.
Okay, I'm just sending this out to everybody who need to hear your message right now, and I feel like you about to get in there, and I just wanted to send to just a couple people that need to hear you right now. You know.
I
Boom.
appreciate that.
All right. So repeat the question one more time for me.
I wanted to get your perspective on maybe some things that you've experienced in the dating realm as far as women's standards, what you've experienced in the dating world,
Yes.
as
Yes.
far as how women approach you,
Yes.
whether it's financially, or you better have this, or you better pay for this, or what's that like?
So for me, me and Architect who just joined right now, we talk
Hey,
about
Architect.
this a lot. But for me, I've noticed today is that today's set of standards are based on social media ideas, things that are not real. You know what I mean? A lot of times what I'm seeing is people looking at a fake facade on social media and saying, I want that. Not knowing that facade was curated for your life and it's not real life. So we stop looking at people as people and start looking at them as product. You know? And I think that is like that new standard of what can you do for me, or what type of enjoyment I'm going to get out of this based on what I see in social media.
Right.
And in this world, before social media, I believe, there was easier experience of developing the relationship, understanding what it takes to be in a relationship.
Right.
Now everyone wants the glitz and the glamour of the relationship, but not the work of the relationship.
I was just about to say that. Right.
Because they are going against the fake facade that has been curated by social media personalities. So for me, that identity is that's the standard. I feel like it's sometimes a little bit too far in,
Right.
There's no more conversation that's being had when you're getting to know someone.
Right.
Real conversation. Taking the time out.
Right.
Have a real conversation. Just let's talk.
Right.
Let's talk. Who are you? Not what are you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think. Go ahead.
Like Tech said, it's funny how social media takes away from the social connection, right? It is so crazy.
We got to be more active,
and then
right?
That also includes, in my opinion, I'm gonna keep it a buck, with dating apps. When you have a mass quantity of people at your fingertips, how many are you really getting to know?
And on the depth and the level,
And the level is very shallow in a sense. So once again, you're picking people who created this and curated this profile for you. And I think that's what the standard is becoming. I think that's unrealistic. To have a set of morals, like you said, a set of morals is the base.
Right.
Your morals will tell you everything about who you are.
Right.
And whether or not we can get along or whether or not we can grow.
Right. And I don't think it takes long for people to recognize that in the numbers. So, for the element of just maybe who we used to be, or some people where they are now, it's the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gotta be 6'2". He gotta be caramel
I got a
complected.
joke about that too. It's
You
funny.
got. I want to go ahead. Oh,
No,
and
it's my
Sandy's a
stand up. My
comedian.
stand
So go
up.
ahead.
It's my stand
Huh?
up. You gotta come see me stand up. I got a joke about that a little
All
bit.
right. Okay. But huh?
The list is, I feel like the list
Uh-huh.
is you writing your thoughts out in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And in this list, you're supposed to say, you're supposed to analyze the list.
Right.
What is realistic? What's not realistic? What is
Mm-hmm.
doing too much? You know?
Mm-hmm.
What is right? What is good? What can I go without? Can I go with? You know what I mean? What values more and what are my priorities?
Right.
That's
Right.
what I feel like that list is supposed to be about.
It's supposed to be about, but oftentimes it's not
It's
that.
not.
So the 23-year-old Erica, or a young lady watching or gentleman watching,
Yeah.
is completely different from the list. As I approach 40 in the next few years,
Uh-huh.
and it's really determining what matters. So about 6 months ago, my list was all spiritual. It wasn't even physical. It was all spiritual. And then maybe the last 2 months, I completely put the list away because I did the self-work throughout the past maybe 5 years and realized that in the midst of all of that, the list has no value because God is going to bring you what you need when you need it. And if we really think about it, I call this is my term for it. I want that intergalactic love, where you are about your business, you're growing to be your best self, and even if the person is in the midst of you, whether it's in I don't know, a group or work or something like that, they could be in your midst, but when it's the right timing, divine timing and divinity, that's when y'all gonna get together. Not a second before and not a second after, because even something that's really good prematurely is bad, or too much of a good thing is bad.
Yeah.
So just trusting the universe and taking the time to recognize who you are and are the qualities that you're seeking for in a mate. Have you accomplished those things? Are you in the midst of that? Or are you just wanting somebody to come and save you and rescue you?
Right.
Not in 2020.
No.
Sorry.
And also, right. And also, I just thought about this. The list is what's considered also as a diary. The list is where you are right now. I guarantee your 23-year-old list and where you are right now are totally different. It's your personal diary. Where am I? What is inside? What do I need to change? What do I need to work on? For me, the list is not what I'm looking for. It's about me speaking about myself. What am I? What is my internal being saying right now? So it should be a reflection and analyzation of you when you write the list.
Right. It should be.
It should be an analyzation of how I'm thinking and where am I.
And that what said was completely true. So now it's reevaluating the list, and recognizing where you are mentally and spiritually. Are you, if you say you want him to be 6'2", hypothetically, and he's 6'1", and you completely reject him, what does that say about you?
Exactly.
Because
it's the analyzation. And then also in the list, you might figure out, whoa, I got a lot of trauma I haven't dealt with yet. I want everything that what my ex wasn't, or all of these other things, or maybe I've been hurt, and this is why my list is like this.
And when you think about that too, it goes right back to, we just talked about it, self-evaluation, and then taking a time out from dating. Just stop. Just put a pause on it, and that's okay. I think a lot of times people are afraid to be alone, and that's why they're so desperate to just grab onto whatever comes or whatever seems to be legit. And it takes, I would say, about a full year, maybe 2 years, to really know somebody. That first year is still courting, it's still dating, even if there's a solidification on monogamy, monogamy, right? So even in the midst of that, you're still getting to know each other. and I'm not trying to be too far-fetched, but there are stories where if you watch the Discovery ID channel, that people have been married for 20-something years, meanwhile their husband is a serial killer, and they ain't know. So you really don't know a person. And like you saying, said, the first conversation should be a brain picker. You know, what are some things you desire? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years? And if a man or a woman is like, oh, you asking too many questions. Oh my goodness, that's too deep. I'm just here for the meal, you know, then you can go ahead and take yourself out, because I'm not here to waste time. And if you have been ghosted in the past, just know that God was doing you a major favor, because you have so much that somebody else has been praying for. All your physical elements as well as your internal elements. So don't get down or distraught because most people don't want to evolve and grow into their higher self. There are still a lot of people who are taking the time to be their best self, so that when you two do come together, it's harmonious. Have y'all noticed in the midst of quarantine that people are meeting and getting married left and right, left and right? It's because they've been doing the work, and you just know, your spirit knows, it never lies. You don't have to second guess it. You don't have to question it. It's like, he here, I'm here. Like, damn, you took a long time. Yeah, I know, I had to work on myself. Bam. You understand what I'm saying? So you might be the cause of why your soulmate or twin flame has been stalled if you haven't been doing the work. You know, because he could be waiting patiently, not choosing to settle. And vice versa for the young lady. So recognize where you are in that space. And the best thing I would just suggest you to do in the midst of it is to love yourself. Don't expect somebody to do for you what you can't do for you.
Yeah, that's a mouthful right there. Once you know who you are, you start to love yourself. You know, and once you love yourself, flaws and all, you can fully love someone else. Chelsea asked, can you fully know someone?
Huh?
Chelsea asked a question. Chelsea asked a question. Can you fully know someone?
Can you ever fully know someone? Do you want to answer that, Seth? Not answer. Hey, Jamie.
I think, honestly, I haven't had the time to fully be in a relationship with somebody over 10 years, over 20 years, so I can only speculate. I think this would be a better question for people who have been in that long-term relationship. But I think, just for me speaking, we all have our internal conversation in total consciousness, right? And I think you can get to know somebody to about 80%, 85%.
Right.
But the thought that we're thinking within ourselves is only to ourselves. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things you think when you were in a relationship, but like, well, I'm just gonna keep this to myself. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm talking. This is what I'm really about. You know.
I will agree with that. Again, so maybe in my past when I was dating, had my boyfriend in college, and the young Erica, I was very timid, very shy, very by the book as far as the Bible, and you know, just be submissive. You understand what I'm saying, to your boyfriend, so you can get a ring to be a fiance and make him be your husband. So in those moments of my time and space, I was not vocal. I just kind of was a doer. You get me? Where I am right now, I am a visceral person. I want to know what his breath smell like in the morning, how many times he pee, how many times like I'm visceral. So I don't want any holds barred, and I want him the same for me. And I know it's kind of gross, but I mean, if we're going to be talking about relationships, it's all in it. He know before I have my period what that's like. So I want that, because when you start to hold back in a relationship, it's not good, because you're hiding something. And whatever it is that you think your partner may not approve of is furthest from the truth. Listen, we are human beings, okay? Human beings. We all have messed up in life. We all have weird quirks and weird habits. You understand? some people in relationships have never seen their significant other without a lace front wig on, without makeup on.
Really?
I don't know if this ever happened to you. I'm telling you. I would talk to older couples to ask them, like, what's the key? And I've had a few women in their 70s and 80s say, my husband has never seen me without makeup. What I do is I get up way in the morning because I know what time he gets up for work. And I just, go to the bathroom in the powder room and, spray a little something. It's real. And then there are some people in relationships. How are you in a relationship? You can be intimate, but if you using the bathroom, he can't come in the bathroom when you're using the bathroom. Like,
boundaries. That's boundaries, though.
There's boundaries. Okay, listen. If we gonna be together for life, babe, your razor blade is over there. Go ahead and get it. Like, I don't understand why people try to tiptoe on things. Like,
because everyone got a different set of boundaries.
Everybody got a different set of boundaries. I'm open in my relationship.
Yeah.
I just want it to be as visceral as possible. Yeah, I talked about those elements, but I'm talking about, I just feel like the passion is there. All of those things, yeah, there are limits. I get it. There's some discretion, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme, what Kevin Hart said in that comedy special, you gonna realize what love is when you need somebody to wipe your ass, and that's just real talk, I get it. I hear y'all. You don't have to be in the bathroom. I'm just saying, if it happens to happen, there's no shame. There's just, babe, just here's some Febreze. Just go and get out.
That's
like,
y'all
feel me?
But I mean, I understand some people like it different. Like, but to piggyback on the last question Tess asked, also to say that when you're going through life, you're constantly growing and evolving. Mm-hmm. You're never the same person. So I don't think you'll fully be able to know someone because you're constantly growing. You're constantly different. But that's why a strong communication skills is very important.
Right.
Check-ins are very important.
Right.
And to really be open and honest and communicate.
Right. I agree. So again, of course, like I said, we all got our quirks, but at the end of the day, it's the passion. The passion is there. You understand? It's just me personally, I can only speak for myself. You understand? But I also feel that, if we are being realistic about relationships, learning your partner in and out, their likes and their dislikes, and not just learning them, but respecting them. You get me? Because oftentimes I see this in particularly with women when it comes on to men. I notice that a lot of guys, when they're really in love with a woman, they will pretty much sacrifice a lot of their desires and their dreams and whatever for a woman. And that woman takes his love and his heart and his kindness for granted. It is a two-way street. I'm sorry.
You go both ways, too. I've seen it both ways.
Right. And these women just like take. So I understand when certain men get their heart broken, they realize that the woman wasn't as vested in the relationship as he was, because he could see a future. I'm the type of person where if a guy is asking me out, I would expect him to pay on our first date. I'm just being 1,000%. Right? But
I'm like here and there on that these days.
No, okay, but I'm just gonna be honest. If he asks me out, I'm just telling you, if he asks me out, I'm going to expect him to pay. Now that doesn't mean I'm gonna drain him and I'm gonna get the $100 lobster plate. I'm considerate. You understand? I don't know everything about his pocket. So let me get the $30 plate. Let me get the sampler, and not that I'm doing it solely for him, but I don't even like lobster like that. I know females who will literally buy the most expensive thing on the menu just to see where his money is at. And that's not right. Can you afford that lobster plate? Would you take yourself out for that lobster plate? You can have indulgences, but be realistic about your first date. Now, if he's insistent on spoiling you, then that's different. But I'm still considerate because there maybe 3-4 dates in, I'm like, you know what, babe? I got this one. I got this. You feel me? I'm that type of person. You understand? If he's never been to, I don't know, Six Flags, and he's always wanted to go, I will do that for him because I know he's doing that for me. You understand? There are things, it's a give and a take, but I noticed in particularly a lot of women like to drain. Oh, it's a man's responsibility to do this. This is not 1952. It is 2020. You see what's happening right now? Everybody done lost their damn job. And if you have a job right now, be grateful. Okay? But if your husband is struggling, I'm not trying to be his contentious, nagging wife, because the Bible said it's better to be on a rooftop than in a house with a contentious woman. And what does a contentious woman breed? She don't love herself. She complain about every damn thing. She miserable within, so she gonna take her frustrations out on her man. My man come home from a hard day of work. I want to make sure he good, baby. I got the food ready. You need a bath. Let me know what you need before you get home. If the kids are, being rambunctious, I try to get them to bed before he gets home so he can have his peace of mind. I'm considerate about the ins and outs of my man, and I would expect him to be considerate about the ins and outs of me. You understand? Like, if he's always with his boys, this is an example. If he's always choosing to be with his boys, I shouldn't have to say, babe, I want your time and attention today. You understand? He should be able to feel that. It's that telepathy. When you get to know someone over time, that's why I was trying to explain the visceralness of the relationship. Y'all don't take me literally. Go ahead.
So I like Michael's hashtag, Michael, no contentious women 2020.
Yes, right?
Now, I've learned this, now that idea of with the boys. I learned this from a very older couple, a couple actually older couples.
Right.
They set, what's the word I'm looking for? Expectations in the beginning of their relationship. So he told her, like, they set it up to where that his wife knows on Friday is my boys' night and Saturday's all you. So when you want to go out on Friday, she already knows and has that expectation and that communication because they set that in the beginning. Now, if she wants to do something on a Friday, she's like, yo, babe, I want to see you on Friday. Then that switches. But they set that expectation early so later on down the relationship, there aren't any problems.
Right. And it makes the relationship flow smoother because people have this, and going back to how we've been raised, if it don't hurt, it ain't love. Ain't nobody finna hurt me. My name is not Tina, and you ain't finna be Ike, okay? And you are not gonna manipulate me. You're not hurting me. Love, God created love to be a beautiful experience. It's not gonna be perfect, but once the love is established and you're with the one that you're supposed to be with, that rhythm flows because, like you said, you set the expectations for what they are. Now, if you are here in person, but your expectations are all the way up here, you need to humble thyself and bring them a little bit down, okay? And sometimes you and your partner may not always see eye to eye, but one of the biggest things that I learned as of recently, when Denise was on last week, she said, you have to pick and choose your battles. And it's so real. Pick and choose your battles because you're always going to be having to forgive your partner for the most minuscule things. He always leaving the toilet seat up, and you told him 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and you just spaz out. Is it worth the spaz, or do you just say, you know what, close it, but then I'm gonna have a conversation with him for him to get, you get me? And then vice versa, babe, your makeup is always on the counter, is leaving stains on the counter. Like, can you not do that? These are just minor examples, but it's taking the time to be considerate of each other and picking and choosing the battle. Do you want to have a whole divorce off of something so minute in the grand scheme of vacations, in the grand scheme of bomb sex, in the grand scheme of him greasing your scalp, lady, in the grand scheme of you rubbing his feet, or you maintaining his beard? You feel me? Like, that's what it's supposed to be, at least for me. That's what I would want it to be. It's a give and take, and I'd rather sacrifice or swallow an unwarranted, stupid bicker for the sake of happiness. You know what I'm saying?
See, and I agree. I also like to it's a fine line for me because I always want my partner to be able to feel what she feels. Don't bury it, right? But like you said, understand the grand scheme of it. You know, you don't want to feel stifled. You want to be able to express yourself, but also be understanding when you're expressing yourself.
Right.
And then having that real conversation, like, yo, babe, if you leave this cabinet one more time, what? Oh, okay. Yo, it's getting on my nerves. All right. Now, if they care about you, they might, in my head, I might be like, that's some little ass shit, but I'll be like, Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And just do it. Right.
And then I'll remember the next time. Let me.
In a weird way, you know what it is? It's training each other to be better for each other.
Well, that's
because
how you have to first understand how to work with someone else.
Right. Hence the leader you were talking about.
A leader understands that there can be multiple of leaders working together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know how to work with each other. They don't know how to work with themselves.
Talk about it.
A lot of people don't know how to hold themselves responsible. So they can't hold themselves responsible in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I ain't good to myself single, I ain't gonna be good to you in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we go right back to square one. It's like people choosing to grow. I was in Brooklyn. Okay, I had a long, busy morning today. And when I tell you, just watching people watch a lot when you're in New York. You just do that.
I stare at people. According to people, I stare at people.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear somebody calling you.
Oh yeah, and I put my phone on do not disturb. I'm sorry about that, y'all. And it threw me off. What was I saying?
You were saying something about that back to the beginning of working with somebody.
Right, and having the leader. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Having the leadership qualities, because, like you said, it takes a leader to know when to step back and to be able to listen. And I think that is where people really have to just find themselves in that space. I know for me, I've determined or realized over the last few years that I actually am an alpha female. I don't feel an alpha female. She doesn't have to be boisterous and loud to be considered a strong woman. You know, when it comes on to me really sitting down and disciplining and focusing on the specific things that I want and desire, I'm on it. Like when I'm in my focus mode, if I'm creating a concept or a project, it's like, this is not playtime. This is focus time. This is, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Like, that's how I am. You understand? I'm definitely a go-getter in that space. I realize that I have to be with an alpha male because there's that balance. It's not a dictatorship. It's not a competition. It's how do we make each other better? And I wanted to delve into the fact that when you are with your one, it is to push each other to become the best self, not just for one another, but for yourself. You know, pulling out things in you that you may not have seen. And they're not always bad. It's just, babe, you are really good at art. You have this beautiful eye. I think you should, start a YouTube channel or start an IG page. And it's pushing each other to get out of our comfort zones and always evolve, not just individually, but as a couple, to where you become your power couple. And that's not always monetary. It is knowing that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and we're 90 years old, that we made the right choice in a partner, that we made the right choice. All the tears of joy and sadness were worth every morsel of this time on earth because we got to spend it with the ones we loved and we were able to evolve to our highest self, And that's also a factor when you have kids, choosing the right partner is big. And if you are spiritual like I am, and I believe you are too, Sid, it's finding a person who is choosing to break generational curses, generational, habits that aren't going to be beneficial to the relationship. I've heard stories about certain celebrity females who always male bash, and that's why they can never last in a marriage, and it's maybe how they were raised. I'm not saying any names, but I'm just saying, like, you hear stories about, you don't need no man, you can do everything by yourself. You understand? No, in time, I know I need a man. It's not good for anybody to be alone. And I'm pretty sure you would love to be with the woman that you desire. You get what I'm saying? So I think that goes a long way. People they got to figure themselves out before they can give any advice. And one thing I don't do is take advice from single people, older people, because I noticed that they are very bitter.
It's an old saying, old fools for young fools. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's real, because again, I mean, that's how at least I desire love. Like, love to me is as raw as it can possibly get, you know, and you gotta desire what you want and make it plain, you know. So I would honestly say in our society, commitment factor. Not a lot of people want to commit. Going back to the dating apps, you know, I don't have them because I'm just noticing that everybody's just trying to hook up, or they don't want to spend money on a date, or come over to watch TV. Like, bro, are we in college? Are we in high school? We are adults. Where's your innovation? I know Sad back in the day said, well, I always be like, yo, Erica, I went on this horrible date. Kid, yo, this chick, we didn't even finish the date. Chick was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then to see where you are now, living your best life in Bora Bora on the private yacht, you feel me? I see that, and it's been an evolution, and I'm just so proud of where you are. But what's some advice to some men and women as to what they should really be doing as far as dating, if they should be dating? Everyone's different, but like, what do you guys think?
I think first is to relieve the pressure of dating.
Mm-hmm.
Relieve yourself the pressure of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are dating, just date to have fun and to get to know people.
Right.
Right? Don't go, like, be very easy. Because, yes, have your morals and where you want to be. But as you get to know people, keep it easy. That's how you keep the stress level down. I always say, every person you meet, you know, you ain't meant to marry every person you meet.
Right, that's true.
Everybody ain't going to be the one, because that's why it's called the one, if you believe in that.
Right, right.
Leave that pressure. Don't waste nobody's time, though. Keep your morals.
Wait, say that one more time. Don't waste nobody's
time.
Okay.
Be honest. Communicate. And once you see that you're honest and communicative, you'll be able to identify and pick up when someone isn't.
Right.
You'll look, you'll see, you'll listen. You'll be like, oh, that was a little, nah, I'm okay.
And you recognize it off rip. It is not going to take you forever to recognize it. You just know it when you know it.
And also, don't look at, I also like the whole social media curation. Stop looking at that. Look inside yourself and find that.
Yeah, those are great words of wisdom from.
It's not about the quantity.
Yeah,
it's about the quality. We do live in a city where you know everyone thinks it's greener on the other side. This and that, yada yada yada. But if you're in it for real, to build a foundation, build the foundation within yourself. Right. Be honest with that and communicate and take it easy. Take it easy. Relieve the pressure.
Right. And I think that those are brilliant tips, because the expectations are what get a lot of us in trouble. You know, ooh, girl, he was fine. He got a great job.
A lot of people fall in love with potential, but potential is not real.
That is so 1,000% true.
Potential is not real. When you meet somebody, accept them for where they are right then.
Right now. Yes. Yes. And speaking of that, do you or would you suggest people divulging their past? Again, past don't have to be crazy or they was hoeing around. Past could be like they might have been locked up for a couple of years, you know. Past could be anything. Do you think that
if you really like somebody, the biggest thing you can do is spend time with that person.
For who they are now, right? I agree with that. I think people, like you were saying with the expectations, but I think people overanalyze a lot, you know? Or I can't do this. Oh, I'm never going to do that. And they put these absolutes. I think that kind of puts a hindrance on missing out on some really amazing men in this world, you know? And women.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because you're not being realistic to the realities of life. Like you said, social media, music videos, movies, they all paint this beautiful picture. Disney has a lot to do with it. Religion has a lot to do with it. Be this type of woman and you're going to get a man. That does not work for everybody, you know, or the standard of, huh?
Yeah, it's all the curation, the fabrication.
Right, right. Just find out who you are and delve into that and just be yourself in that. And I think that goes a long way. But I appreciate you, Seth. Golly, I can't talk sometimes. We have a little bit of time. If there's anything else you wanted to touch on, or if you gotta go, I understand because you know you getting Oscar ready.
Hey, I'm trying to get like you, big dog.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you off camera what today was like hustling, busting to get ready for tomorrow. But
I know how you feel.
huh?
I'm working on the stand-up special. Got to do this audition thing. Got like I just got back. Like it's, you know,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Wait, what's your comedy special? And I mean, let the people know where they can find you. Said.
Oh, so Benny got the juice
IG?
is Instagram. Benny got the juice. Simple, funny. Working on something special right now. So I'm still in the writing phase of it. It's funny because Kevin Hart did the little social, like the close knit thing. I'm like, God damn it, nigga! I was thinking about that, nigga. Shit, nigga. But,
Darn it, he beat you.
But what we got planned over here is a little bit different.
Okay.
So yeah, that be on the lookout for that, man. That is gonna be some great work. It's gonna be funny, you know.
I'm looking forward. I actually haven't seen your stand up. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, go to the page. There's some clips. There's some clips up there.
Yeah.
There's some funny bits up there. You know, we won't delve too much, but you know.
You doing your thing, and like that makes me proud because we all have a story, and we all have a mark to leave on this earth. And I just pray that each and every one of you are able to leave that mark with the love of your life and enjoy the next phase and chapters of your life in love and in happiness and in joy. So I appreciate you infinitely, Seth, for this dope conversation. So, I mean, we didn't really get down to whether men or women's expectations are really high, like a yes or no.
I said their women expectations are unrealistic.
The unrealistic,
because
right?
It's based on the curation of what you've seen by people who fabricate their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's real. It's real. And, you know, like you said it so eloquently. That's that Leo for you. But I love you infinitely, and we'll be talking. I hope you all were able to get some beautiful gems of wisdom from a man as to the realities of relationships and, you know, potential marriages in 4 years. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next Saturday for Single Saturday.
Yeah.
Bye.